Guys, story time. I'm gonna tell you the time where Satan tried to deceive me by, you know, electing me to be a leader in his army. Yeah, he did, guys. He told me, uh, "You're gonna be our leader," you know, and he was dressed the same way as what from the movies, as Zeus. Okay, Zeus is not God. you know Zeus, Gilgamesh, Satan, Baal, Yahweh, all of them are the same. Marduk. Okay, guess what? Set is the same being. Okay. Anyhow, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you about Set later, but I'll tell you when he offered me. He goes to me, "Oh, you're gonna be our leader. You're gonna be the commander in chief to lead our army." Yeah, Zeus is afraid of who? Who Zeus is afraid of? They're never gonna tell you. They're never gonna agree to this and tell you, the truth. They're always trying to downplay it and act like he's God. He's the one who says there's no God, but there is no other God but me. The jealous God, the same one. Yeah. So anyhow, so that's what he said. And I just said to myself, what are you trying to do? You want to play me? And you want to play me. But thank you. He, offered it to me, telling me that I'm going to be the leader. To fight who? Who am I fighting? Am I fighting God? He always plays the same role. Like when God offers you something, he always want to offer you something because he want to be God. And that why you pick the right choice, guys. You pick the right choice. You can never listen to him because he's very deceitful. He always gonna offer you something that is not forever, and that why you pick God over Satan. This dude is like very crafty. He put himself in these holy books, and and equated himself to God. Yeah. So do not be fooled, guys. When it offered to me, and I said to myself, buddy, no thanks, I'll pass. So I'm gonna tell you who's Zeus, your Gilgamesh, and all of. He's afraid of, or Marduk. He's afraid of Nyx, a goddess of the night. He doesn't mess with her. Goddess of time, and Kali, the same. He does not mess with her, but he would use people to fight her. You understand? So that's what he wanted to offer me. It's like, oh, you're gonna be the leader. Yeah, buddy, you can't trick me. You cannot trick me, even if your life depends on it. You can never trick me. Trickery, you cannot trick me. You cannot. You can't play me, guys. Not even him, he can't play me. Why don't you have your kids? Have your kids go to war for you. the rulers, the one who's been running the show in earth, have them go to war, have them be the leaders. They have a chance of winning, right? Because they don't. But you want to elect or select, I would say, people that were sent here by God to end your nonsense, to fight God, to fight against God. You understand? So yeah, so Zeus, he's scared shitless of Nyx, god of the night, you know, the primordial. She is ancient. She's older than any other so-called gods. You know what I'm saying? The Divine Mother, you know. Yeah. So anyhow, good luck, guys. But thank you for the offer. I'll pass. You know, you had to offer it to me to deceive me, trying to turn me around to fight your battle. You want me to fight it for you. No. We are coming for you, but hey, we are just waiting for the divine time, the infinite. We are just waiting and for anticipation. We'll show you what the true war looks like. You think how many wars you have in earth? You're gonna find out. Because when we're done with you, you will regret ever have pissed off heaven. Because yeah. So God is, aligning all these warriors of light, that are already here. They are waiting for orders from God. Okay? And similar, what these people getting orders from Jupiter, whatever. We are the same. We are waiting for order from God. When we hit the ground, we're going to hit the ground running, guys. And so, yeah. That was kind of happening. It's going to happen. He has an army of his own. And God has an army. It's going to be a war. You know how many wars God had with him? But hey, there will be an end to your nonsense. You will never even exist anymore. We're going to erase you from the face of the universe, That's exactly what's going to happen. But thank you, guys. Thank you, for the offer, And so that was just right. He tried to deceive me. I'm saying, you gotta deceive me, buddy. He can't deceive me. I'm not gonna play in your team ever. You know what I'm saying? But hey, after what you've done to me and my family, you want me to do what? Fight your battles for you? You know what? Don't hold your breath, you idiot. But anyhow, yeah. That's just not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen where you want to sit there on your throne acting like God Almighty, Yeah. When they said, okay, I'll give you that. They'll say things and people, it goes over people's head. When they said the synagogue of Satan, they are God chosen, guess what? They're not lying. when they said they're God chosen, because Gadriel, that was the word God from. Anyhow, Gadriel, yeah, Gadriel is their Satan or whatnot, the same being. Yes, they are God chosen, because when you say God, they say God is a title, but it's not a title. It's a name for him. You know what I'm saying? Gadriel. Yeah. So yeah, they are God chosen, because they're the synagogue of Satan. They, they are his children. Obviously, yes. Okay. And he wanted the 144,000 to fight against God, not knowing that you're going to be fighting God. You know, people who think on earth, 144,000 who jump ship, and 144,000 who jump ship, who yeah, and this guy's acting all weird. Look at him. He's walking in the middle of the road. He kept walking around in circles. You see him? And then he turn around and walk in incoming traffic. It's very dangerous. He's on something. Anyhow, somebody's gonna come and hit him, because SUV just passed. He went around him. He went in incoming traffic to avoid him. But anyhow, it doesn't matter. Okay, so anyhow, you guys, 144,000 who already playing for the enemy against us, you are playing for the wrong team. Honestly, I hate to break it to you. You are praying for the wrong team, for the losing team. You don't want to be fighting this war against us. You know, we fight for the maker of the universe, the infinite, you know, the one who exists outside of creation. Okay? Fight for that, you know. Do not fight for God real, you know. Okay, do not fight for God real, or God. You know, I don't want to use that word anymore. Anyhow, do not fight for him, because he's a loser. But anyhow, he's gonna lose. So you're gonna regret it. I know some of you guys are paid now to attack us. But when you are warring in a battlefield with us, you're gonna regret, okay? Because 144,000 is not gonna give you no mercy, okay? So just a fair warning: make the right decision. It's your own choice, you know. But do not say I'm being deceived, because I'm been telling you. I just told you who you're fighting for. I told you who you're fighting for. Hey, you decide what you want to do. I am not gonna fight for him, you know. Yahweh, Lucifer, no, so Yahweh, Gadriel, Baal, Gilgamesh, you know, whatever his name is. Anyhow, you don't want to fight for that bloodline, okay? Because you're gonna get destroyed. So anyhow, let's talk about Set. Set is the same Set is the same. If you watch a movie, Gods of Egypt, remember he was married to what her name? I can't remember her name. But anyhow, watch a movie, or you can just look it up online. Who Set was married to? She's a weaver. She used to weave things like like rugs or some sort of. She was very crafty like that. She used to weave things and whatnot, and yeah. So when in Gods of Egypt is he took her wings because she was known. She can fly into dimensions and stuff. So her wings are. So he took her wings, and because remember in the movie she said to him, "I am glad the father never let you have kids." But he figured a way. He figured a way to have kids. But anyhow, I'm glad that, and he ended up chopping her wings, and then he took the eye of Horus. He took a piece from each god, and then he ended up being beat by Horus because he killed his father, and he was spared because Horus, his love was a goddess. She was a goddess of love. I can't remember her name. Watch a movie, guys. I don't remember the name. Anyhow, she jumped in. It's a movie. It's not real. But anyhow, but she jumped in front of him and she said, "Spare him," because she also had this relationship with Set, and she had a relationship with Set, and he was spared or something like that. And then he ended up having this, getting his eye back and stuff, and because he ended up killing the father, but then he was brought back. It's not true, I don't think. But anyhow, he was brought back by Horus. He flew into the heaven and brought the grandfather. His grandfather. And his grandfather was getting the energy. He was getting the light and energy from the sun, actual sun. Remember, he has this like a little chain around the sun. And so anyhow, so he ended up getting, bringing his grandfather back and stuff. And anyhow, Seth is always been the wicked one. He's always been a wicked one because he's the one from the movie where he changed. He says, after life, in order to ascend into heaven, to go to heaven, you have to give something, a value. Because before that, when the Ra, is it Ra? Is he the father of Horus that Seth killed? Because he says Ra didn't want to fight him because he says, "You're my brother, I love you," and I don't want to. He didn't want to fight him, and he ended up getting killed because he didn't want to fight him. He didn't even think twice about taking him out. But anyhow, he ended up. He was brought back, and yeah. So anyhow, I'm telling you the story why. He's always been the wicked one. He changed the rules because he said he was not the chosen. Ra was the chosen, and he was Ra was passing his kingship. He was passing it to Horus, his son. And then he ended up killing Ra. Then he said, "I'm the king now. If you do not kneel for me, you will be killed." And then he's the one who hoarding all this wealth. He was hoarding all this money and gold and stuff. And he says, in order for you to go to heaven, you have to give something of value. But then before that is Ra said anybody have a chance to go to heaven only with their good deeds. You have good deeds, you go to heaven. But, Seth says no. You have to give something of value. Gold and something valuable, for the afterlife in order to pass, to go into this, to be open, because they go through gates, whatnot, to go into heaven, to go to whatever. You have to give something. And anyhow, when Seth was killed, Ra became, Horus. Sorry, Horus became the god of Egypt in that movie. But anyhow, in a nutshell, Seth is the same person who offered me. He offer you stuff, because he's that wicked, But he has fear of Nyx. He would never fight Nyx or goddess of the night, Kali, whatnot, the goddess of chaos and stuff. He afraid of her. He never could face her because he get decimated. Anyhow, that's the story, guys. So if you fight for him, you're gonna be fighting who. I just explained to you. I broke it down in a movie. So take what you want to take from this story. It's up to you. It's your decision.